Hey, what's going on everyone, this is iReviews back with another video, and as you probably know by now, Apple has released the third beta of iOS 18. And in yesterday's video we talked about this update, and of course I showed you guys some of the new features and changes that Apple has brought to iOS 18 with the third beta, but now we have a lot more to talk about. This update has some pretty cool new features. Now we're starting things off with stickers. Now if I go here to the iMessage app or anywhere that you can use stickers and your keyboard, now you will be able to go to your emoji keyboard where you will also have your stickers, but now instead of just searching for emoji, you can actually also search for your stickers. So right there I can search and use also this sticker, which is really awesome and very easy actually to find any sticker you want. Now what's really cool with iOS 18 beta 3 is that now you can also use your stickers in line. So whenever you're typing some text, just like I would add this emoji right here, I can also go ahead and add one of my stickers. How cool is that? You can just use your stickers in line as normal emojis. Now another thing you can do is that you can also use your emojis right here in line. So if I want to use that, I can just go ahead and use both in the same line. The emojis, and even the stickers can be used in line right here on the text. The flashlight has also gotten some updates here on the control center, so whenever you turn on your flashlight, you will see now a new interface. This is the third time that Apple is actually changing this interface for the flashlight. Now they made it a bit much easier to actually adjust it, so you can turn up or down the brightness of the flashlight simply by swiping up or down, and then you can choose the focus of the flashlight by swiping like this. So it's basically the same gestures as on the second beta, but now you will have a different animation which will basically guide you on what you're doing with your flashlight. Also on the control center, we have here like a smaller update. All the toggles and all the elements on the control center will have like a lighter blur underneath them. Yeah, now you will notice this especially when you're using your control center and maybe you have something like a lighter color in the background, like a lighter color wallpaper. You will notice that all the toggles, every element has now a much lighter shadow underneath them. Also, when you go to your control center and you go to your Bluetooth and your Wi-Fi, AirDrop receiving and all that, you will see now that we have these little arrows right there. Now what that allows you to do is basically tap there and you can switch like between different Bluetooth connections, or right here you can adjust your AirDrop, or here switch between different Wi-Fi networks. So instead of 3D touching here, which you can still do, you can now just tap the arrows right there and you will see the full list, in this case, of Bluetooth connections. Now moving on the home screen here. Now on the home screen we got a few different adjustments. We talked about some of them on the first video about iOS 18 beta 3, but one that I have noticed here is that the tint that you get on your icons, when you tint your icons, you customize them using the tint feature, actually now is much softer, and in my opinion makes the icons look much better, especially the other icons that don't actually have support for dark mode will look much better. Of course there will be bugs here and there, like this one right here for Instagram, but as you can see right here, most of them actually do look pretty nice, even though of course they're still not updated to support the dark mode for iOS 18. Now this right here is probably something I would never expect Apple to do. Apple has actually enabled dynamic wallpapers for the lock screen and the home screen of your iPhone. Now what they're doing with this is basically giving you a wallpaper which will dynamically change during the day based on the time of the day. Now if you have a Mac, you know that there's a feature like this on the Mac, but right here it has way more options, like it will change probably like 7 or 8 times during the day with different colors. It's pretty cool. Hopefully they will keep this feature, and hopefully they will add to it with other options for other wallpapers, or maybe find a way to even let third-party apps add their wallpapers to this, that would be pretty cool. But it's a really nice feature. Again, never thought that I would see the day that Apple will actually allow us to do this. Also on the lock screen, you now get new widgets for the health app. So we have overnight visuals, and you will see right here we have two different widgets, of course, with two different sizes, the small and the bigger one. So if you use this feature, you want to track it, you can now do that directly from the lock screen of your iOS 18 device. And we have some pretty cool new features for the podcast app on iOS 18 as well, and specifically one that we're going to talk about that has been added to iOS 18 Beta 3. But first of all, on iOS 18 Beta 3, once you open the podcast app, you will see the splash screen talking about the new features that Apple has added to the podcast app on iOS. First of all, precise sharing. This is a feature that has just been added. We're going to talk about that. There's faster search and more playback controls. But let's just head on to the podcast app here. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. So I'm listening to the podcast. I want to share it. All I have to do is, of course, tap the three dots and tap share episode. Now, once you want to share it, you will see here have an option where it says from start. Now, if I just want to share it like this, of course, I will send someone a link to the podcast, which will start from the beginning of the podcast. But I can go ahead and choose from, and it will share the podcast, but the timeline will be right there when I'm listening it, or any time that I pick, simply by, of course, moving the scrubber. So if I just want to go back here and share something else, I can again go ahead, tap on share episode, tap right here and just choose the time, and you're good to go. You can now share the episodes of your podcast precisely with anyone. Moving on to the Shortcuts app, now we have a few more smaller changes here. On the Shortcuts app, when trying to create a new shortcut, you will see this new animation. It kind of does like a flip to the page. It looks pretty cool in my opinion. You will also see here that this text has also been updated. And also, when you go to vehicle motion cues on the settings app, you will see this pop up right here. So it's a splash screen, and then it will also take you through some other pages, letting you know what Apple is actually intending to do with this feature, which is of course pretty cool, and it might be used for a lot of people. Moving on into the settings app. Now, if you go to settings and you go to the control center settings, you will see now there is like basically a tutorial right there, or whatever you want to call it, like instructions on how to actually customize your control center. So you will see that animation right there, that guide that will help you customize your control center. Another update on the settings app, if you go to messages, then you will find right here under text messaging RCS, and it's now its own page, just like the block contacts, where you can go into that page. Now it will have that option for RCS. Of course, I still don't have it here because my carrier has yet to enable RCS for my device. And another pretty cool thing that I saw today on Twitter, but I'm not able to show it right here because I still don't have that information, is that now when you go to the battery settings, you will also see the battery uses info right here for your updates. So when you update your iPhone, of course, it will take up battery life, and now it will actually show you here how much battery your iPhone has consumed during the update. And now let's move on and talk about performance a bit. Well, this is the performance on iOS 18 Beta 3. I'm kind of disappointed with that, but we'll have to wait for a few more days and do another test. Most likely we will get much better results. But we can compare this to the last beta. This is Beta 2 right here, so we have a single core score at 2,935. You can see quite a huge drop here, 2,806 on iOS 18 Beta 3. And a huge drop here on the multi-core score, 7,393 right here with Beta 2, and then Beta 3, 6,974. Quite a big drop there, of course, but we'll have to wait and see what will happen in the next few days once this update sets in on the device. So that's basically it for this video, guys. These are some really cool new features that Apple has added to the new iOS 18 Beta 3. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, smash that like button. Of course, subscribe for more videos, and I will see you on the next one.